Judge, we talked about this last week before the first of the year, sort of trying to guess when the Supreme Court would take this up. Because if they don't take it up, that's the Supreme Court weighing in on this whole situation without taking it up. Where are you now on January the 3rd?
All right. So the Colorado Supreme Court opinion has been appealed to the Supreme Court of the United States. And as far as we know, this information is not public. It is on their calendar for a discussion, a private discussion amongst the members of the court for this Friday. My guess is that they will agree, probably unanimously, that they need to hear the case. So they will issue an order sometime Friday afternoon simply saying, we're accepting the case. Here's the schedule. Here's when the briefs are due. Here's when the oral argument will be. They read newspapers like the rest of us, and they know primary time is coming up, and they know that state secretaries of state need to know whether they can begin to print ballots. So my guess is they take the case, they'll rule quickly. They are more likely than not to overrule Colorado, and in doing so, will set down standards for the application of this clause of the 14th Amendment, which has been interpreted in wildly different ways, but seems to say that if you once took an oath to support the Constitution and then supported an insurrection, you no longer qualify to become an officer of the United States. It doesn't mention presidency. It doesn't mention the standards of proof necessary.
And the Supreme Court meets on Friday, so that's why we haven't seen anything yet. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay.
Supreme Court's on vacation until this Friday.
And Sheena Bellows, well, she joined CNN to relay why she made this decision to take Trump off the ballot. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Do you have any concern taking Trump off the ballot risks tearing the country apart?
My duty under Maine election law and the Constitution and the oath I swore to the Constitution was to look exclusively at the hearing and the evidence before me and make a decision based on the law. Neither political considerations nor personal considerations for my safety could enter into that decision. I had a duty and an obligation to follow the Constitution, as do all of us who serve in government.
Yeah, she talks a lot about duty there, Judge. It's not only to the people of Maine, but also shouldn't she be respecting who they choose as their candidate?
Well, what she did was to remove the president's name from the ballot without any meaningful due process. Due process means a hearing at which evidence is presented and evidence is challenged. She had an investigator present her with what all of us know from the newspapers and from watching television, that there are allegations against President Trump. Has he formally been charged with an insurrection, participating in insurrection? No. Has he been charged with aiding and abetting an insurrection? No. Has he been convicted of any of these insurrection-related charges? Of course not, because he hasn't even been charged with it. So she really set her own standards of evidence and her own standards of proof. This is what is wanting from the Supreme Court. Tell us what the 14th Amendment means. Tell us what the standards of proof are. Lay down the rules for the level of due process necessary. Otherwise, as Rob pointed out, by doing nothing, they will be affirming Colorado and unleashing the Supreme Courts in every blue state in the union to kick him off the ballot using their own unique standards. The Supreme Court has said many times, the Constitution can't mean different things in different states. It governs the entire nation. It's got to mean the same thing all across the board. It's the fundamental duty of the Supreme Court to straighten this out.